Hi everyone and Happy New Year. I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to our garden. I realize that spring is 70 plus days away, but we've all got a lot of planning and organizing to do, right? And if you are a seasoned gardener or a brand new gardener, you have come to the right place because I'm going to be shooting videos each week about all kinds of topics that will help you be successful at gardening. So let me start out by giving you a little bit of background on myself and our garden, and then we'll get down to the business of actually talking about gardening. My husband Bill and I live in Spokane, Washington, which is located about 300 miles east of Seattle. As far as hardiness zones go, we're somewhere between 5B and 6A, and we use organic methods to grow everything. It's very simple, and I'll be showing you that throughout the season. Now, you can see we have a pretty good sized raised bed garden, and I want to reassure you that everything I teach you this year will apply to the smallest of gardens. You can garden in containers, you might have just a small garden space, and I'll help you be successful at producing a very plentiful, productive garden. Now, ordinarily, our garden would not look like this in the first week of January. We would be having all kinds of snow everywhere, and you would really have no idea there is a garden under here. But this year, of course, we have an El Nino winter. We are very low in moisture, which is frustrating, and I'm hoping that's going to change soon. But yeah, you can see how our garden is this year. Let me show you what it normally would look like this time of year. And here's what our garden looks like at the peak of the season. Now, what about my background? I am the author of 2 books, the Vegetable Garden Pest Handbook, which is all about dealing with insects organically, and also the Vegetable Garden Problem Solver Handbook, which just came out last year. And it is about dealing with all different kinds of challenges that you might encounter during a growing season. I'm also the co-author of the Northwest Gardener's Handbook. I've been a Spokane County Master Gardener for almost 22 years, and for almost 20 years I wrote the Sunday garden columns for the Spokesman Review newspaper here in Spokane. And I just retired from that last October, so that's pretty exciting. I post daily to my Facebook and Instagram accounts under the handle of Susan's in the Garden. I have a website, susansinthegarden.com, and I'm going to show you some great resources on it to help you be successful, and that'll be later in this video. And then also I have a YouTube channel that has over 500 videos on all kinds of gardening topics. And this year I'm going to shoot a video every week. And so I strongly encourage you to subscribe to my channel so that you know when a new video has been uploaded. My style is to give you exactly what you need to know and keep things simple. And I always try to keep the videos as short as possible because I know you're busy. My list of video topics to cover this year include seed starting, growing in containers, organic insect control, which fertilizers to use, how to grow specific crops step by step for things like broccoli, corn, peppers, tomatoes, and more, dealing with weeds, using cover crops, how to conserve water in your garden. Boy, is that an important topic. What to plant for pollinators, and so on. So for today, I wanted to share some basic tips for the new gardeners out there because I want to get you started off right. If you want to grow vegetables and other types of edible plants, it's important that you know that they require a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of sunlight daily in order to grow and produce well. So when you're looking around for a garden spot, if you don't have one already, take a look at how the sunlight moves across your garden area. Are there buildings that would cast shadows, or other structures or trees? or shrubs, anything that casts some shade on the garden, and see if you can pick out the sunniest spot you've got. If you don't have a sunny spot in your yard, but you do have a sunny deck, patio, or balcony, you can still grow vegetables in containers, and I'll show you how to do that this year. My third tip for you is that, again, if you're new to gardening, keep this year's garden small. If you plant a massive garden because you're so enthusiastic, and I can't blame you for being that way, and you can't keep up with it, you're going to be very discouraged and think, boy, vegetable gardening is stupid. I don't want you to have that kind of first experience. I want you to be successful. And it's also important to remember that no matter how long any of us have been gardening, every single year is a learning experience, and it's a good learning experience. So what I would recommend doing is just planting maybe 3 or 4 crops, maybe like a tomato plant or 2, a zucchini plant, maybe lettuce and onions, and just see how you do with them and see what you learn from that garden. Don't forget to talk to your gardening friends and neighbors or to your local Master Gardener program when you have questions. If you don't know how to find your local Master Gardeners, all you have to do is a web search on the words Master Gardeners and then add in the name of your county and the state you live in, and you will find it. So their help is free. You can't beat that price. And also remember that I am very happy to answer your gardening questions. My email address is susan@susansinthegarden.com. Okay, let's head indoors where it's warm because I am freezing. I wanted to show you my website because there are some great resources. They're free and they are very helpful. So here's my website, susansinthegarden.com. And while I have all kinds of things on it, I wanted to focus today on the guides menu. That's where you're going to find all sorts of great resources. Everything is free. My goal has been to put things on that are helpful. So first of all, if you're really into bird watching, I've got a section on that. I have written all sorts of book reviews on great gardening books you might be interested in. I have an index to my garden columns. Again, I wrapped up that part of my life last October, but I have links to the columns I've written over the last 10 years or so. I have a guide on making your own compost, how to grow herbs, links. Now this can be to other great websites and other types of resources that you might be interested in, so be sure to check that out. I have a section on organic pest control, primarily about insects. It doesn't go into the detail that I do with my book, The Vegetable Garden Pest Handbook, but it's got a lot of good information in there. Preserving the harvest, all kinds of information about that. Plant propagation. This is a new section. I'm still working on it, but it is about seed starting and also taking cuttings to reproduce other plants in your garden. A seed starting scheduler. This is a form you can use to schedule when you want to start your seeds and plant them outdoors. I have when to start your seeds based on the zones that you live in. So because I'm in zones 5 and 6, I have specific dates in here, whereas this one for all zones is X amount of weeks before your last frost, that type of thing. This is a chart of how long seeds typically stay viable and they germinate better. Here's a brand new list of what we're going to grow in our vegetable garden and flower gardens this year, and all kinds of resources for finding those seeds. This is a list of vegetable plant families, and as you'll learn, certain types of plant families typically are planted at a specific time of year. They might have insects that are unique to that plant family, so like cabbage worms, typically bother cabbage family crops. And then information on basic vegetable gardening, so when to plant things, how deeply, how much to space them, and so on. So be sure to check out this guide's menu because there is so much information in here that I think will help you be a good gardener. Okay, that is everything for today. So what's coming up in the next couple of weeks? Next week I'm going to talk about what I'm going to grow this year and how I'm organizing myself so that I plant things at the right time indoors. And then the following week we're going to delve into seed starting. That is such a great skill. It's not hard once you understand the basics. See you next week.